Space missions inside our solar system have begun to focus on goals only intersectional with active life search. This is following a concerted effort to locate evidence for life on Mars, several flybys of the gas giants, and atmospheric analysis of suspected habitable regions via telescope. In comparison to exploratory missions planned in the 1960s and 70s, the modern search for life within our solar system has seemingly been overcome by the hesitancy imbued by institutional reprioritizations. The aspiration to make contact continues, but our search has shifted beyond Sol as we develop our ability to assess habitable exoplanets around nearby stars. Missions to Jupiter, such as Voyager, New Horizons, and Juno, could have found conclusive proof of life on their voyages. This would have only been possible had the chemical products of life been obvious and concentrated enough to be observed from orbit, either in Europa or Enceladus atmosphere, or been observable in water plume ejections from their surface. Planned missions, such as Clipper, are designed to assess the life-supporting suitability of Europa, taking advantage of extended periods in close orbit to collect data. Even Clipper might struggle to detect certain types of life forms if they existed within this paradigm. We demand a quick and powerful method to pursue the search for extraterrestrial life within our solar system in a meaningful way. We first identified Oort Lichen colonies on large Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud objects. These organisms appear to utilize a colony organization system akin to terrestrial lichens, where layers of organisms in various stages of development accomplish symbiotic life processes for the colony. Sustaining themselves in a microgravity and total vacuum environment, they have not been spotted on bodies with even rarefied atmospheres, and as a result, this organism is presumed to propagate using a gravitational, spore-based reproduction system. Oort lichen cells are highly sensitive to gravitropic influences, which dictates the spiraling shape of their focusing structures. These conical apparatus appear on the sunward side of the colony, forming a complex of reflective cones. The reflective structures focus sunlight onto a node, wherein crucial life processes for the colony occur. It is theorized the lichen uses photosynthesis to produce sugar, which, through a process of sublimation, exits the circulatory system and crystallizes on the organism's surface, producing the reflective layer. Whether these creatures possess DNA with similarity to Terran life will no doubt remain a major point of contention until samples can be studied. The widespread nature of this life form allowed its discovery using terrestrial pit lamping techniques, a less powerful version of the solar lamps found in low solar orbits. Little more is known about Oort Lichen, and most inferences about its behavior and appearance have been derived from visual observation. Telescopes near Earth will spend considerable observation time in the upcoming decades searching for Kuiper Belt objects both colonized by Oort Lichen and suitable for imaging in order to understand the life cycle of this organism. Tsiolkovsky Dryads were first located on Europa by the Cassegrain Large Magnifier on June 7, 2029. Their discovery predated the Oort Lichen by 7 years, and they had been discovered before extensive missions to the outer solar system. These were the first extraterrestrial organisms observed by human sciences. The largest European dryads have anatomical structures several hundreds of meters in length. They appear to live in an either partially or completely frozen state, using a circulatory system with a very low freezing point. The most specialized life forms also tap into the available light energy found on Europa's surface. These creatures have learned to innovate to retain their energy, producing a thick thermal shell for protection. There appear to be several distinct examples of these life forms, although it is not well understood how the various species are differentiated. Lensing or focusing of light to induce photosynthesis is a necessary adaptation this far from the sun. Photosynthesis on Earth takes advantage of a dense atmosphere to accomplish gas exchange, but on the surface of Europa, processes we associate with gas exchange occur inside the organism. It is not known how the biology of photosynthesis developed in spaceborne organisms, but it is speculated they might have evolved on the surface of an icy world like Europa and been ejected into local space on ice. The extent of these organisms' presence in the outer solar system indicates they have been spreading for a considerable amount of time, perhaps even hundreds of billions of years. This is assuming no unknown factors could have aided the colonization of the trans-Neptunian objects with these puzzling creatures. Tsiolkovsky Dryads were the first alien life humans encountered. They were named after creatures conceived by the visionary father of astronautics, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, who derived the rocket equation. Tsiolkovsky defined the Fermi paradox in 1933 and believed humans would ultimately colonize the galaxy. He would produce hundreds of papers in his lifetime, time mostly spent as a recluse near Moscow. Among numerous scientific discoveries, he speculated on organisms specialized for the space environment. The most apparent obstacle for the search for extraterrestrial life has been our ability to direct efforts on this scale and with the energy commitments necessary to evaluate probable targets. Humans have realized that in order to make the search for alien life viable, the energy of our sun must be used. Whether we search for life aggressively by beaming radio signals at exoplanets or passively by collecting signals, the energies of our star are required to make the search viable on realistic timelines. In the search for extraterrestrial life, detection strategy outweighs the value of probabilistic assessment. The paradoxical nature of even simple theoretical questions about where we should search for life means probability will always be unreliable for planning. The more repeatable and effective our detection abilities become, the more likely we are to find life and life-supporting environments. What if we had a method to look for specific types of life on bodies such as Europa without analyzing the spectra of its water ejections, or locally orbiting the body? A method which is both inexpensive and practical and could produce granular information about the complexity of found life signs. We already possess a technique to accomplish this and can deploy it without leaving the solar orbits of the inner solar system, or if we desire, even Earth's orbit. This method is also the first step towards harnessing our sun's power directly for the search for extrasolar life and beyond. Pit lamping, a concept proposed by futurist Freeman Dyson close to the end of his career, is an example of an elegantly designed technology inspired by natural life. The technique references the phenomenon of light reflection in the eyes of nocturnal animals, whose retinas are adapted to focus and reflect light. A bright light source can be used to probe in the darkness for animals featuring this adaptation. All biological structures with a role in gathering sunlight, whether for vision, passive heating, or photosynthesis, will reflect light in certain conditions. By using the light of the sun as a flashlight, we can scan objects with a degree of efficiency far surpassing ground or even orbital optical telescopes. The greatest shortcoming of pit lamping is the technique's sensitivity to albedo, and this is what makes this technology also situationally powerful. While it may struggle to locate life on larger, warmer bodies or those with a planetary atmosphere, small icy objects feature an albedo range where any kind of light-focusing structures will stand out like a creature's eyes in the dark. Our current solar life search paradigm focuses on bodies with an atmosphere. Solar pit lamping is not a viable option to search through atmospheres, which scatter the light needed to distinguish albedo. Recognizing the potential for pit lamping will translate to numerous other technology. It is an affordable proof of concept towards solar orbital development and will one day be used to develop solar laser propulsion technology. Thank you for watching. Please like and comment to help grow our audience and subscribe for more content like this.